Morning, everybody. How we doing? Sammy, United People's TV. My voice is going to sound a little bit weird today. Yeah, I was shouting a little bit yesterday. Yeah, I enjoyed the trip. Anfield was so not intimidating. I was really quite disappointed. I'll be completely honest. Wasn't disappointed with the result, though. Wasn't disappointed with the performance from United. We all went there with sort of expectations of, let's be honest, getting pumped, getting steamed. Didn't turn out that way at all. There's loads to run through. Absolutely loads. Of course, can I quickly say at the start of the show, before I go down and see the member gang and say hello to everyone, I really appreciate all the messages that everyone said. As I'm flying out to Ireland at 2:30 today for the funeral tomorrow. Man, things happen quick in Ireland. They do not mess about. And it was just amazing to see so many people sending nice messages. Really is nice. Genuine community we've got going on here. So big up to all of you for sending those messages. But today I want to, of course, this live show, I want to focus on that game yesterday. I want to focus on everything Ten Hag said, the performances, the defending, Raphael Varane, Johnny Evans, Mayu and Amrabat in midfield. It's almost like that's what Manchester United need to do. Pretty much everything that I kind of wanted Ten Hag to do against Liverpool, Ten Hag did against Liverpool. So there's lots of positive, I think, to take from it, unless he names Virgil van Dijk. Man, he may as well choke on his own bitterness after that game yesterday. That's what I'll say. I'm going to see who's down here from the member gang, and we're going to jump in because there's a podcast, kind of a very different podcast on the road. It was me, it was Chris, it was Jip, it was Joe. On the train back, I'll speak about that next. We've got the raffle, which is the draws happening later today, I think in like 8 hours. You can win a PS5. I'll run through this. There is so much to run through today. It's going to be a busy show. And I won't be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we only got live shows today and Friday. So let's enjoy them. Good morning to the member gang. Let's have a look. Fizz, you're there. Carl, we got Fagan. Not that Fagan. Maybe that Fagan. John, Devo, Ricky, Keith. Good morning to all of you. Anaj, Benjamin. We've got JC, Paula, Andrew, Sean McGarrett, Saeed, and Toby. And Gungshi as well. Man, look at that. I love this community, man. I really do. Gungshi, you just gifted 10 memberships and Shax to kick started with 5. 15 of you straight away. Like, man. It's always Christmas in this community. It really, really is. No, Fizz, man. Stop it, guys. Stop it. One for you. I'm only going for the little ones today because my head is a little bit sore. Little tickles. Little tickles. Which is basically all the attacking threat that Liverpool had against us yesterday. I know they had 34 chances, right? I swear to God, it did not feel like that in the stadium. I'll run through. There is so much that we've got to get into and speak about in this show today, man. First things first, if I can share this with you, please. This is the podcast, which has just dropped. Big up to Callan for helping edit that. This is the link to the podcast. It's a nice, short one. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's kind of a different one to normal. Well, a different sort of vibe anyway. And it's cool to do that sort of stuff on the road. It really is. So if you'd like to listen to it, it's right there. Okay? 20-minute podcast. Enjoy it on your commute to work this morning or on the way back. So knows, up to you. And also, can I say here that we've got, as I said, 9 hours left on the big Christmas raffle here on United People's TV. I will leave the link to our link tree, and on there, you can find the link to buy yourself a ticket. Somebody's going to win a PS5 Digital Slim. Only got released like 3 weeks ago. Plus EAFC 24 for £1. Someone's going to get that before Christmas. So that's why I'm only running the raffle until tomorrow. So I'm going to have enough time to buy it and get it sent out to whoever wins. And if you don't live in the UK, I'll be able to send you a cash equivalent. Otherwise, it will be a bit dangerous sending a PS5 around the world. I mean, I have no idea whether that's going to turn up or not. I wonder if it's going to be broken when it actually does turn up. But someone's going to win that tomorrow. But big up to all of you. Oh, man. Oh, this community. You know what this community makes me do? Yeah. It does. It puts a massive smile on my face, man. It really, really does. Calvin. Oh, Jesus. I don't know where to start now. Calvin's just gifted 5 memberships, and so is Garlic Bread Man. Honestly, all of you, if you don't come into the Discord, I don't know what you're doing to yourself because you are missing out. I'm not going to apologize, obviously, but tomorrow I had a big plan to do. I was going to do a live show tomorrow night, a sort of a community live show. It's going to be our Christmas quiz. Unfortunately, it's not going to be happening anymore. But maybe we'll be able to do it when I come back on Friday or Saturday. Unsure. We'll have a look. But Calvin and Guy Bread, man, you just gifted 5. Oh man, there are so many names here. I don't even know what to do or say. You're making me lose my chain of thought, people. What a community. Seriously, what a community. Really is. And after that performance yesterday, how this club needed it. I can't even read all the names out of everyone who's don't. Garlic Bread Man and Calvin. Sean, you've gifted 10. JVD, you've gifted 5. Stu and Chris and Steve, you've all gone 10 each. Man, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Should I just like leave this on like a permanent sort of... I really don't know what to do. Just one big one. It's not good for my head, that. Charles, you calling me a good luck charm yesterday. I don't know whether... What's your overarching feeling from that game yesterday? Because I left Anfield pretty damn happy as far as expectations versus reality goes. I'll pull up a little video here. I thought you might like this. I took a little video. This is me. Well, not me. This is just after the full-time whistle when the players came in front of the away end at Anfield. I thought you might like to see it. Right, I'm going to go down and see what you're saying in the comments there. Rob, you're saying it was a relief. I was expecting a slaughter. Yeah, Andrew, Anfield, I said this, like, Onana sort of mentioned it as well, like how bad that atmosphere was, like crap with a capital C. That was, I believe, a record attendance because they opened up the Anfield Road upper. All they do is sing You Never Walk Alone, cheer for about 4 or 5 minutes. Diddly squat. And I think that helped, you know. If it was more vicious, it would have been a more hostile place to go. But it just wasn't. It just wasn't. Oh, look, there's Salah. Anybody found him? JC, you mentioned it down there. That red card. I actually didn't have this up as a talking point, but that red card on Delo. I was speaking with the lads from the podcast about it this morning. It's just it felt like an arrogant. It was just so weird. Delo was completely right, by the way. The ball wasn't booted off by Salah, but it clearly came off his foot. So he was angry about it. He goes, "What do you mean?" He gets 2 yellow cards within 8 seconds, and you can't do anything about that, by the way, because it's 2 yellow cards. You can't appeal against 2 yellow cards. So that's him banned for 1 game. So he'll miss the West Ham game at the weekend. Let's speak about the game itself. Actually, no. First of all, it's much harder to see a game of football from an away end. Like when you're actually in the ground, to be able to properly analyze, assess, and see what's going on is a lot more difficult. But I've got no idea what Van Dijk is talking about here. And maybe this is red-tinted glasses, right? Because if I was to look at these stats here, if you didn't watch the game at all, and this is all you looked at, you go, wow, Liverpool were dominant, like completely all over. And how did they possibly not win that game? But it wasn't like that at all. I swear on my life, it felt like United had the best chance of the game with Hojlund. The only time I thought that they truly threatened the goal was with the shot from Trent Alexander-Arnold from the edge of the box, I think in like the second half. The one that just went wide of the post. That was the one I thought was the most threatening shot from them. Wasn't even on target. And this one, the Salah sort of curled a shot in. That was about it. Like, for a team that had apparently 34 shots. I loved Roy Keane's response there. Like pipe the fuck down. What Liverpool did was they went into that game and they listened to everybody. They listened to the fact that Liverpool are going to pump them. Liverpool are going to win. Liverpool are going to cruise it. Oh, it's going to be a drumming. They believed it before a ball got kicked. And that gave us an advantage, which we took advantage of. And I didn't expect that from United. I did not expect United to turn up like that. Now, Scott McTominay being captain, I mean, I was surprised. We were speaking about it in the pub beforehand. I thought it was going to be Luke Shaw, but it's Scott McTominay. And Erik Ten Hag has put so much faith in McTominay. And truth be told, we didn't have much going forward yesterday, right? Still in possession, we could have been better. And that will always happen when you've got Scott McTominay, but you can't really. I mean, I suppose you can actually sometimes as well. But I thought McTominay played all right yesterday. I thought, like, to a man, right? To a man, I think everything worked. And the fact that Scott McTominay, McTominay's reiterated this the whole way through, right? You can say what you want about the dressing room, but I loved this quote here from Erik Ten Hag. You might have seen this. When Ten Hag was asked about the dressing room, this was his response.
All the talk of late about unrest in the dressing room, behind you or not, is that the sort of performance that proves that they're in this for the fight?
I told you. Samuel.
How?
I love that response. Deadpan, not nibbling on it. I told you. Then that just, and that's it. Just going to sit there and wait for the next question to come in. I'm not saying anything else. I loved it. And I loved it. The fact that it was such a collective performance. I think, yeah, to a man, United played well against Liverpool. And there were standout players in that game. I think Varane was man of the match, kind of by some distance as well. I thought Johnny Evans was far better than I thought he was going to be. Mayu kind of did everything that I thought he would do. Garnacho was kind of really struggled to get in the game. Antony, I thought, was probably our most dangerous outlet. Hland struggled up against Van Dijk and Konate from a physicality perspective. Second game in a row up against top opposition where he struggled in that sense. But as McTominay says there, the players are fully behind this manager. And that performance there against Liverpool at Anfield, it does not happen unless there is an actual genuine collective there. Now, there is something to build on. How many times have we said that this season? My word. But there really, really, really was something to build on. Now, I'm going to go down here and read a few of your comments out down here because I think everyone's going to have an opinion on that after that game yesterday. And I'll tell you what, what was it? Was it last Monday? Was after Bournemouth? And was it the week before? Was after Newcastle? No, the week before I think was Chelsea. And was it the week before that was Newcastle? Man, we've had some rough old Mondays here on United People's TV. I just have to hope that there at Anfield has to be the beginning of something different. Like part 2 of this season. If part 1 here, let's close the book on that. Can this be the start of part 2? I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments out. But I think, oh man, Nuruddin as well. How you doing, dude, man? You're a hero. Hero of the people. Hero of the peoples. Hero of the United peoples. All of you. You really, really are. 20 gifted memberships. 20 of you. Come on to the Discord, please. It always feels like I'm begging about the Discord. But I don't really. It kind of sounds like I am begging. But I'm just like actively encouraging you. It's really, really picking up now. Really good place to come and have a chat where you can basically continue the live chat that you've got here, but after all day with the community. Now, let me see what you're saying in the comments. Paulie, you thought that Varane was going to be captain. I think after Ten Hag had sort of dropped him, like Ten Hag was speaking about the overall game plan here. After Ten Hag had dropped, and we are going to speak about Varane in quite a bit more detail soon, by the way. I didn't think Varane was going to be a captain. David is saying that McTominay stayed captain for the rest of the season as he ran his legs off. Well, Bruno runs his legs off. Like, running isn't working hard is not everything. Like, working smart at the same time is equally as important. And I just think that's what United did against Liverpool. We made the right decisions. We made good decisions. We played it out from the back. Onana, it was pretty cool being able to watch Onana up close there because Liverpool were pressing us quite high. But I really liked quite a few of his rolled passes with his hand, actually, sometimes through the gap. There was once in particular, I think, where it went to Delo and he took it on the half turn and then burst forward through the middle and just beat the press really easily. Really easy. But it just, I just haven't done that enough. And those ball carriers from midfield, they make such a difference, man. They make such a difference. I think someone sent a super chat there. Let me not miss this. Hey, look, does that mean I've got to go to every United game now? No, I love going United. I love it. And as I said, I've always said, it's kind of an irony of what we've got here as a community is me going to the games is the most difficult thing. I'm a person who's very proud of the quality of the work that I put out. So to do a match reaction when I'm on a train platform and I've only got 2 minutes before the train leaves, and that's the only time I can do it. That's not the quality I want to do, but that's what you have to do when you're on the road. Jonesy, do you see a future where Bruno is rested and rotated based on yesterday's performance, or do you see him as a 100% starter? I'm going to sort of dive into that question in a little bit more detail in my video, probably tomorrow, Jonesy, because I think it's such I think that's the biggest headache that I think Ten Hag has. Headache? Don't know if that's the right way to describe it. But it's the biggest question I think I've got. Ten Hag here speaking about the performance yesterday. And I think, look, from a game plan perspective, in my video, right, ahead of the Liverpool game, I said that we needed to do a few things from my non-tactical expert perspective, but just my fan opinion, having watched United this season. Number one, play Mayu and Amrabat. I'm going to be speaking about those two soon. And you're damn right that made a difference. Number two, simplify the press. And I think Manchester United did that. We weren't particularly pressing too hard on Van Dijk and Konate in their own half. We dropped it a little bit. It became more of a mid press. And number three, I think we simplified the tactics. I don't particularly remember too many inverted runs from our fullbacks. So Delo was cutting inside a fair bit, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it just felt like everybody understood the mission. Everyone understood what they needed to do, and they did it, and they executed it pretty well. As I said, the fact that they had 34 shots is a bit weird because it didn't feel like they threat. You know how all along we've been saying that we've been conceding too many shots. If they had 34, a lot of them must have been blocked or something, because Onana, he made a save from Van Dijk from a corner in the first half. And did he? I'm not sure he made any worldy saves. I'm not sure he had to, because I don't think Liverpool had that many clear-cut chances. I think that's because of how organised we were. But yeah, we did need to do more going forward. And there's going to be people talking and questioning Rasmus Hland after yesterday. When you play at Anfield, right, you have to be ruthlessly clinical, because you're not going to get many shots. Truth be told, the Hojlund one was the best chance of the entire game. Really nice move. Antony to McTominay to Hojlund. He's on his right foot. Just kicks it straight into Alisson's chest. He could, you look at it again and you go, maybe he could have opened his body up on his left, caught Alisson out by surprise. I don't know. It was another tough game for Hojlund. And it's another game that sort of shows that we've got a 20-year-old striker leading the line for Manchester United. It just should not be the case. but it is currently. I still have absolute confidence and belief that Rasmus Hland's skill set and his potential, I think he's going to really develop and become an even better player. But he definitely has a lot to learn, and he needs somebody to help him learn it. You know what I mean? He needs an experienced striker alongside him. Glenn, you're saying Alisson's positioning for that chance was too good on his weaker foot. It wasn't easy. But yeah, Hland, we saw it in the build-up to the game. It would be like the least surprising thing you've ever read. That Hland and Martial are the two strikers in the Premier League who've received the least passes. He didn't get any service. Hardly gets any service, and he runs himself into the ground. But sometimes, again, running for the sake of running is not necessarily the best thing to do, which is why I'm glad that we kind of dropped that front press. Tony is saying, told you McTominay would be captain. Ha, I did not see that coming. Isn't it? It's so strange this season for Manchester United, man. Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay, two players that Ten Hag was willing to sell, wanted to sell. Maguire would have been happy to sell McTominay for the right amount of money. Then Maguire comes in and becomes his most important player. And then McTominay comes in and becomes his second most important player, arguably his most important player. Captains Manchester United at Anfield. You're thinking, wow, topsy-turvy. Topsy-turvy is what you would call this season from United. It just depends whether or not we see something now kicking forward from here. And I've mentioned this a few weeks ago, and it really feels like Ten Hag he's really embraced this. Yeah, I don't know whether it's because I'm only spotting it now in these last few weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like I've heard Ten Hag say this more times in like the last month or so than in the previous 12 before it. Like, it's United against everyone. It's us against the rest. United versus the world. It really feels like that sort of, I don't know. It's just, as I said, maybe it's just I'm more aware of it, and he has been saying it this whole time. But that is the mentality that you need as a Manchester United player and as a Manchester United manager. Everybody else is out there trying to trip you up, hoping that you fall, hoping that you go flat on your face so they can point and laugh at you. That's what they do. That's what they have done for so long. And that mentality was what the players showed against Liverpool. Man. I thought when that ball went through to Hland, everybody was like in anticipation, just like hold on to the rails. Like, oh. It could have been, I mean, I suppose it would be a fair way to describe it as a smash and grab. But in the current context of this Manchester United team, that smash and grab was as best as... If we had gone there yesterday and we tried to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool, we did what they wanted us to do. Open the game up. Play at full tilt football. They would have opened us up way too much, and Salah would have found himself in far more threatening positions, and he probably would have won the game. But instead, we shut up shop correctly. And Raphael Varane, as I said, was a monster. Ten Hag sit here talking about how the sort of defending, he called it almost perfect. And I'll be honest, this does not reflect that well on Ten Hag. I've got to be honest. I said this in the podcast and I'll say it now. I don't mean this as a way to sort of stoke negativity, but I think Ten Hag's got it wrong with Varane. I always said that the Ronaldo situation, I supported Ten Hag. And I didn't really think you could get another angle on it. I think he was just completely right. Sancho, I was like, oh, I think that Ten Hag's done the right thing. But I can understand if you think he should have done it differently, although I disagree with you. With the Varane situation, I think it was the one where probably more United fans out of the other two situations with Sancho and Ronaldo, there was more people that sort of disagreed with what he did with Varane. Dropping him from left centre-back because he wanted the passing angles. It's not as if we played that much bloody better without Varane as left centre-back. And he showed there at Anfield, he can play left centre-back and play bloody well. I think he made like 15 clearances against Liverpool. Varane was an absolute monster. Now, if you get Varane exposed in a situation where he's got to cover a 30-yard space in behind it, that's not where Varane's going to be very good. But if you're going to play in a organized defensive shape with an emphasis on that structure at the back, Varane is a very, very, very good centre-back. And so was Johnny Evans. I mean, can somebody in the comments here let me know? I mentioned this on the train on the way back. When was the last time that Manchester United put out the same back five 2 games in a row? Or maybe 3 games in a row. 2 or 3, I don't really know. When was the last time we did that? Because I can't remember. Every game. Now we're going to have to change the next game because Delo's suspended. So that's definitely not going to happen next week. But let's see what you're saying about Varane in the comments. You're saying, Cribs, you didn't expect it. Shame we didn't win with Evans and Varane. If you believe that Evans is the best solution, then you're smoking funny stuff. Evans is a good backup. Hey, dude, there's no United fan in the world is ever saying that Evans and Varane is a solution. But every United fan will be saying, I did not expect that back five to keep a clean sheet at Anfield. Because it didn't at all. And we did. And as I said, I don't think they really threatened us that much. Like 34 shots. Nah. The only one that was really threatening was Salah and Trent. Brian, you're saying, do you expect Lisandro back soon? I'm hoping that we might see him for the Forest away on the 30th. Either way, at some point in the next few weeks, we are going to have Lisandro Martinez back in this team. If I had like gospel music. It's bad how much we've missed an individual, but we have. But Varane was really, really good yesterday, and so was Evans. Right, let me see what you're saying down here. A couple of super chats. Let me quickly read these out. Guide Breadman, how you doing? Big up Sam's granny indeed. Big up Hilda. I love my granny. She was great. It's nice when not everyone gets the opportunity to have relationships with their grandparents, which is sad. Luckily, I did. And I'm grateful for that. Sean, thank you very much, dude. Man, that result was so needed. After the week that we had last week, I mean, come on. We had Bournemouth and then we had Bayern. And it was bad. The sort of... I feel like I do anyway. I have quite a good awareness of the overall feeling among United fans. And it was kind of like reaching like an all-time... I wouldn't say an all-time low. That's stupid. But certainly this season, it felt like people were just really disconnected. Come Friday, like nobody really wanted to talk about United. Nobody really wanted to talk about the game that was coming up at the weekend because it felt like you were sort of walking into a firing squad. Nuruddin, you're absolutely spot on there. Everyone will regret not joining Discord if they do. Antony, like all they're trying to do is throw out a little lure and try and bait you in for a nibble. I don't care. I do not give a toss what any fan of any other club has to say about my club. And you shouldn't too. If you just ignore those people, they will quickly get bored. Let them focus on their own little shitty clubs. All right? We just focus on United. Hey, look, Nuruddin, that's the big thing, right? Let's be honest. A draw isn't going to move the needle for Manchester United on a permanent basis. But it has to be the start of something now. And United, typically this season, whenever we've had that sort of situation where we could build on something, we haven't. And it's kind of gone backwards. It's been 1 step forward and 2 steps back all season bloody long. This is what Ten Hag said about the Varane performance and Johnny Evans as well. Absolutely, but we know what he is capable of. He had many such performances. He did very well in the partnership with Johnny Evans, both led from the back. I can mention all players because it really was a team very disciplined. And I didn't know whether United could actually... Well, we did the same thing against Bayern Munich, but ultimately Bayern Munich's quality shone through. And eventually they broke us down. Whereas they didn't. Liverpool didn't. And there was one player which I think lots and lots of people are speaking about. And lots of people should be speaking about him. I really didn't understand the. I think there was maybe it's just I'm following some crappy people on Twitter, which is probably true. It's a bad place a lot of the time. Suggesting that you can't play Koby Mayu at Anfield. You're throwing him into the lion's den. That's not how you progress a youngster. And I've always sort of advocated that you have to play youngsters at the right time. Okay, it's not just a case of just using a youngster and let them be in sort of like cannon fodder for what's going on around the club. But mate, Mayu is different. There are youngsters that come through that stand out from the crowd. There are youngsters that come through that do not look like youngsters. And Koby Mayu is one of those. The first, if you imagine like the first three sort of, is it his first three appearances were Everton away in a game where it was Everton's first after a 10-point deduction at Goodison Park, and we were sort of kind of down in the dumps a little bit. Everton, we knew that Goodison Park was going to be a fireworks show. He coped with that. Galatasaray away, one of the most hostile atmospheres you could hope for, or not hope for. He was probably the best player when he came off the bench. And at Anfield there, in the hardest game for United of the whole season, always, Koby Mayu was so composed, man. This is what Ten Hag said about him after the game. You know, when he gets more often used to these sorts of games, I think we will get more joy from it. He says, with his scanning and speed of action, he's the player who can really hurt opponents. And that's something I really love about Koby Mayu, right? I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments out about him because I think you should be waxing lyrical about him. It's not a case of overhyping him and this and that. It's just some players just stand out. As I said, some players just step up, and some players are ready. And Koby Mayu is one of those. Now, in this, we've seen glimpses of it. I think there was a cracking pass to Garnacho in that game from Mayu, if I remember correctly. He's not just a sort of a traditional number 6. He's a proper hybrid, which I think is, I would say, in the way that the modern football is going in the Premier League, these number 6, number 8 hybrids, I think, are probably the most important players. I used to think it was fullbacks, and I think it was a few years ago. I think fullbacks were the crucial players for how the elite teams are playing in the Premier League. I now think that the powerful, ball-winning, duel-winning central midfielders who can do all that, but also have a little bit of vision going forward about them, that hybrid between a 6 and an 8, that there is what Mayu is. And that there is exactly what United need. Now, I've been calling for it. I don't know how long for now, actually. I'll be totally honest. I've been calling for Mayu to play alongside Amrabat together. Not one, Erik. 2. And that is a massive reason why we were able to get the draw yesterday. Jeez, I didn't even think about that, Antony. Andrew, sorry. That's our first draw this season. I think United were the only team in the 7 divisions of English football without a draw before that game. Nay bad for a 0-0. I mean, as far as a 0-0 goes, it's probably as good as it's going to get. I think it was quite entertaining for a 0-0 as well. You know, sometimes they can be bore draws. But Mayu, man, is an absolute baller. And I think this is something I'll mention in my video later today, maybe tomorrow. This is going to be a big, not test, but Ten Hag is going to be faced with a choice against West Ham of keeping that shape there or bringing Bruno back in with McTominay, and therefore dropping one of Mayu or Amrabat. which would be a more aggressive approach. But Ten Hag has shown against Bayern Munich, and he's shown against Liverpool, that there is a plan B, that there is an alternative approach to the gung-ho football that has basically got us knocked out of the Champions League and has basically made it an abysmal season so far. You need different styles for different games. You need different styles within a game. If Manchester United, right, Galatasaray away, Copenhagen away is a little bit different because Rashford got a red card, but Galatasaray away is a perfect example. 2 goals up. As soon as McTominay gets that 3rd goal, if Ten Hag makes the decision to take off, oh, he's not going to take off McTominay because he's just scored. I don't know, take off Bruno. Probably not going to take him off either. But you know the point I'm trying to make here. It doesn't matter about the players. But if you put Mayu on and then we switched and we started playing with 2 in front of our defence, 2 midfielders, and we kind of not shut up shop, but we became far more defensively resolute. The bloody... Who's ringing the bell? Come on. That hasn't happened for a while. That's going to be really annoying now. Why has that bell got to ring for so long? That's like 6 rings. Can you hear it? There's 7 rings. There's 8 rings. There's 9 rings. There's 10 rings. Oh, shut up. It's 11 now. It goes, you can't hear it. It's like some phone ringing. My God, that's so annoying. Anyway, I bet they better not ring again. Where was I? Yeah, in a game, like if we were 3-1 up away at Galatasaray and we had played Amrabat and Mainu and we went more defensively resolute, we probably would have gone through. Erik, you can do it. It'll be interesting to see what happens against West Ham. It really will be. But let's speak about, what did you make about McTominay coming in as captain? I'm going to go down here and see what you're saying about Mainu in the comments first, actually. Thanks, Anuj. There is someone at the door. Didn't quite realise that. I really hope the lack of European action plays into our hands, says Robert. I have to hope that as well. We all have to hope that playing once a week will actually help us in the short term. And I kind of think it will. And I'm only talking about the short term. Because in the long term, we need European football, man, next season. Ben, you're saying that red card, it was like a childish red card. It felt like arrogant. Like, I don't know. It just felt like he wanted to be a part of the story or something. Give me some of the limelight. It was just weird. It was very, very odd. What were we saying down here? Honestly, we need 2 centre-back for replacement next season going forward, says Zigzag Zane. Yeah, we definitely do. We know that. But what do you think about McTominay as captain yesterday, right? Because I think from an attitude perspective, I think he talks a good game. I don't think I would question his desire to make Manchester United back on top. I would question his overall qualities, yes, which I think are fair. But I think he kind of set a little bit of an example. I don't know. What did you make of McTominay's performance? I don't think I remember him being on the ball overly much. But I remember him sort of like scrapping, going up for duels, helping with defending. I think it's kind of a mixed bag with him. Let me see what you're saying. Joe, you're asking for some help on Discord. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what else I can do, people, for helping. There is a video on the community channel. If you go to the community page on the YouTube channel, there is a video for me instructing how you connect the YouTube and Discord. If you join the Discord, there is an instructional video for me on there too. You can speak to Joe. You can speak to any other mods. There are mods everywhere. I don't know what else that we can do to help you, honestly. So please come in. The help is there, and I encourage you to do. You might look at Discord and go, "It's so daunting." It's really, really, really not. Once you're in, it's dead simple. Even for technophobes, honestly. Anyway, I'm Nuruddin, man. You've been ridiculously generous over these last couple of weeks, dude. Thank you so much for helping this community. A little gong tickle for you. Gong tickle. What else are we saying down here in the comments? Super sub McTominay in his best position when we need comeback goals. I think, again, I would have said the same thing about Bayern Munich, and I'll say the same thing about Liverpool. I think if Bruno had played in that position where McTominay played, I think we probably would have had a little bit more going forward. Would Bruno have added the sort of defensive power maybe that McTominay added? Probably not. I don't think United are going to get back to the top by starting Scott McTominay every week. And that's kind of the truth. But fair play to him yesterday. Just fair play to everybody. He was talking about how that needs to be something that we build on, and it absolutely does have to be that. If I can ask you quickly here, ladies and gents, this will be the only live this week until Friday. I won't be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be in Ireland, and I'll be back. If you can, please drop a like on the video. It makes a big difference. Thank you all to... I'm not finishing the show yet. I just want to say thank you. It's really nice to see everyone send condolences to my gran and to my family. Funerals around Christmas always hit harder. They really, really do. My family's actually had a fair few of them, unfortunately. But yeah, always appreciate your family, peeps. Always appreciate your family. Anyway, let's speak about Anfield a bit more. What did you make about Onana's performance? I really enjoyed getting the chance to watch him up close in a game like that. And I think Onana played better. The pass that I want Onana to be better at, I think he did it sometimes against Liverpool. Not all of the time. But he needs to be better with those like 20, 30-yard passes out to the fullbacks. Like over the pressing Liverpool attackers, 20, 30 yards over to a fullback. It's a pass which Edison and Addison and Raya make all the time. Because it really helps you get out of the press. I think he played well yesterday. And I think that's a pretty fair way to describe it. Confident, but ropey in some areas. Yeah, it wasn't a complete performance from him. You still watch him and you can't help but go, sometimes. And I hope over time that sort of diminishes and goes away. But I think he played pretty well. As I said, I really liked it when he passed it or rolled it through Liverpool's front two that were pressing. Whether that was to Dalot cutting in, or Varane, or Mayu dropping deeper, or Onana dropping deeper. Sorry, Amrabat dropping deeper. Let me see what you're saying here. Onana always has my back anyway, because he's been struggling with his back foot. As I said, I apologize actually, by the way. I didn't actually get to read your comments. But I do not remember the last time that we played with the same back four in front of him. I really don't. Like, it changes every game. Changes every game. Alex is saying, yeah, that clip ball over the press is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, we tried that against Bournemouth twice and we got slapped up. Bruno tried it to McTominay. McTominay wasn't quick enough to react. Led to a goal. Shaw did a little clip ball over into the midfield. Got it completely wrong. Overhit it by about 10 yards. They scored from that on a counter-attack. So, yeah, it can be a way to sort of beat the front press, but it can also put you in danger when you're not doing it right. What are we saying down here? It sounded like the... I mean, I was so disappointed with Anfield. Seriously. I was like, finally get the opportunity to go and see United at Anfield. We're a wounded animal. They pumped us 7-0 last time. Surely they are going to be G'd up for it. Damp squib. Proper damp squib. Desgostan. Desgostan. What is that down here? Onana has short arms, apparently, says Leroy. Well, that's good. That's good news. It's good to know. You know this, right? I think I spoke about this before the game. I spoke about last season and the 7-0. On that day, like, everything went for them. Liverpool scored 7 goals and they had an XG of like 2.6. Like, they way overperformed their XG. And look at this, right? When we lost 7-0 last season, they had 8 shots on target. And they won 7-0. Yesterday, they also had 8 shots on target. And it ended 0-0. Kind of goes to show you, like, I know some United fans won't want to talk about it or say, but that 7-0 really was a bit of a freak result. Like, everything they touched went in. Everything. 8 shots on target last year ended 7-0, and 8 shots on target ended 0-0 this season. It's mad, isn't it? The way that football works. I wouldn't say, Benjamin, I'm not saying it's pure luck, but just, man, like, they were wearing like some golden slippers. They were wearing some golden slippers last year. But it felt good being in the Lions' den and seeing a team play how the fans felt. Like sod you all, it's us against the world. Batten down, let's go. Let's fight. Let's scrap. And that's what it was. It was a fight. It was a scrappy 0-0. Oh, Liverpool had 34 shots. Van Dijk's throwing his toys out the pram. Jurgen Klopp's probably done some sort of stupid interview as well. But we came away with the point. And that point will mean a significant amount more to us than it will to them. I think that's the only drop points they've had at Anfield this season. I think. Shame. Now we've got these games are not going to really get any easier. Actually, saying that, isn't like what's West Ham's results been? Did they lose 5-0 to Fulham? Let's have a look. West Ham results. So they beat Wolves 3-0 yesterday. They did lose 5-0 to Fulham the day before. Then they beat Spurs. They drew Palace. They beat Burnley. They beat Forest. Well, they've had a pretty decent run of results, actually. Only 1 point behind us in the table. Oh, jeez. These next few games are not going to be easy. We've got West Ham away. We've got Villa at home. Thank fuck it's at home, by the way. But that's going to be a hard game. And we've got Forest away. The point there, it has to be, if, my God, if that point there can't be used as something to genuinely build on, then I don't know. I don't know. And I think a fair bit of that's going to have to come down to tactics and choices from Erik Ten Hag going into the West Ham game. It's going to be interesting, right? Last couple of minutes of the show, can you fire in any questions that you'd like to ask me that I haven't answered so far? If I can quickly leave this down here as well. Again, we've got 8 hours left, right? 8 hours left until the raffle closes. £1 a ticket. You can win a PS5 Digital Slim and EAFC 24. The winner will get chosen tonight by completely not by me, by Raffle and their technology. Completely random from all entrants. And then I will email that person and I'll announce it on the socials tomorrow. I mean, I'll announce it in Discord too. I would normally announce it on the live show, but I won't be here tomorrow on the live show. All right. So yeah, make sure you do that. And if you would like to listen to it, I think you'll enjoy the pod this week. It's got a completely different flavor. Extra seasoning. JC, you're asking about Rashford's performance. Is that right? Let it go. Let's talk about the game then. Let's get that photo back up. Rashford performance. Yeah, I don't really think he did much at all. I think there was one time I think where the ball went over to him. And I think he got it down to Garnacho, and it felt like we just kind of overplayed it and we didn't shoot. That was frustrating. Would you enjoy us playing that way week in, week out? That's not the ultimate aim for Ten Hag with this team. It's not. However, in our current circumstances, with the form that we've got, with the injuries that we've had, and with the season that we've had so far, simplifying it and stripping it back is going to be the best way to start building. Being stubborn and saying, no, sod that, I want to play this way, and then us just keep repeating the problem will just only take us further down. Ten Hag needed to give himself time yesterday, and I think he made all the right choices from a tactical perspective and a personnel perspective. I think he got it right against Liverpool, and I was really happy to see that. What's next for Rashford? I mean, I don't know, dude. Antony, any news on the Sir Jim Ratcliffe? I have no idea, dude. Probably going to happen now. It'll probably get announced in the next few days when I'm not here, naturally, because that's the way it works. Will we lose both Onana and Amrabat for AFCON? I presume so, and Hannibal as well. I think. Anybody else? I think it's those three. Is playing 4-4-2 a solution? I don't think we need 4-4-2. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to play 4-4-2, who the hell are you playing up front? Maybe McTominay alongside Haaland, but that's a bit weird. And I don't really think we've got the wingers in this team for a 4-4-2. Well, we definitely don't. That's why Haaland's been so starved of service. Why do you never do a play rating, says Stuckkids. I'm trying to figure out a way to get an interactive play ratings that we can do in Discord after the game. And then the morning after the game, like on these shows here, we can pull up our interactive play ratings and run through them as a community. But I'd never have to have play ratings. There's too many things going on. What else we got down here? Would you be happy with top 6 or do we deserve top 4? Right now, Benjamin, we do not deserve top 4. I think every United fan would admit that. However, it would be a big setback. It's always so strange, isn't it? Like you spend all season talking about the top 4 and this and that, and it's so important. You need to do it. And then you just go and be so garbage in the Champions League that you're out of it bloody December. And then you go, oh, there you go. Right, let's chase it all again. That's just kind of a harding to nothing the Champions League was for us. Josh, what live shows will we be doing around Christmas? I was planning on doing a full live show tomorrow, like a quiz one. Can't do that now. Maybe I'll be able to do it later in the week. Other live shows I don't actually know during Christmas. Obviously not on Christmas Day. Boxing Day we play Villa. Might do a live show in the morning on that. Don't quite know yet. So I'll keep everyone posted in Discord on that, but I don't know just yet. And let's read one more question out down here. Jonathan, you're saying another 35 shots against us when we park the bus. I'm telling you, dude, it's nowhere near. The threat of Liverpool shots was minimal. I don't know how they had 34 shots. I was stood in the way. I had no idea. They were not just peppering our goal with constant big chance after big chance after big chance. We had the biggest chance of the game, and they had 34 shots. That tells you everything about how not dangerous a lot of those shots were. And Jibak, you're saying, have you ever seen a less gracious loser than Klopp's Liverpool? It really pisses me off how much of a media darling Klopp is. Gets away with anything and everything. Like, did you see the other day? I think I don't know. Might have been on like BT Sport or something, and he was getting interviewed by somebody who was asking him about the 12:30 kickoffs because Liverpool always get 12:30 kickoffs, and then it was just such a horrible response from him. It was a very fair question to be asked, and it just like condescending response, just talking this presenter down live on TV. I'm like, he's such a dick, man. If he's your manager, I think you must think he's great. He's a dick. Anyway, as far as a 0-0 goes, I don't think we're going to get better than that. Now we need to see if we can build on it. This is the plan for this week, right, ladies and gents? I'm going to be doing today's video as normal. I've got, 3 hours until I need to leave. Let's see how much content I can get planned and prepped. I'm going to be doing today's video as normal. Tomorrow, going to get a video out. I want to do a video on Mayu and Amrabat tomorrow, and I want to do it about tactics. Wednesday, there probably won't be a video. I'm not sure. I don't think so on Thursday either. And then I'll be back on Friday. Hopefully we'll be able to do some short videos. I don't know. But can I just say a couple of things before we finish? Thank you, everybody who sent their condolences yesterday. That was genuinely touching. I sent it to my sister. I said, sometimes YouTube comments can be a nice place. And she read them all. I really do appreciate that. I'll send my love from you all out there. And I'll be back on Thursday. And yeah, this community is amazing. It really, really is. I love this community. Big up to all of you. Nuruddin. Let me read all the names out down here. I don't want to miss any of them. We've got Gungshi's Shacks, Fizz, Calvin, Garlic Bread Man, Sean, JVD, Stu. Stu, I might have missed yours actually, man. Stu, Steve, Chris, Sammy, and Mania. I missed that as well. And Nuruddin, all gifting memberships. Much love to all of you, man. This really is a cracking community. And that was a cracking 0-0. I'm taking that draw. Yes, please. I think you'll enjoy my video this afternoon. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. I'm going to play this video one more time. Enjoy.
All the talk of late about unrest in the dressing room, behind you or not, is that the sort of performance that proves that they're in this for the fight?
I told you.